Well, good afternoon. I want to welcome you to another episode of the CVC Tips and Tactics Show. And this is a show that we put on, and we want to share with you different processes, different procedures, different thought processes you can put into use in your business. And this week, we've got a really good subject matter, and we got a really good guest to go over. Because today we're going to be talking about software and what do you use software for in your business and how do you use it as a management tool? Because a lot of people use it and really don't have their eyes open for what's there. So today my guest is a gentleman he was a guest last week on my Fireplace show. This week he's going to be a guest here because he is really on the forefront of software and how to make it useful in your business and how you make it pay off for you. So his name is Lee Roff. His company is Lord's Chimney in Houston, Texas. So Lee, you ready to talk about some software today?
Ready to go.
There you go, man. So anyway, Lee, let's start off with this. You've used a couple different softwares in your business to run your business over the years. So what's been past softwares and what is the software that you're depending on today in your business as your management tool?
Well, when we first started, it was paper and a notebook. And then we upgraded to Service CEO, which allowed us to do scheduling and to manage the database for customers. And now we've gone to Service Titan, and that's been a huge help.
Okay, so what was your reason to move from Service CEO over to Service Titan? What drove you to make that decision?
Service CEO was not cloud-based. And at one time, someone kicked in the door to our office and stole all of our computers. And we had to recreate our whole database off of papers that we had stored. So also Service CEO did not have tablet-based systems. So we were doing carbon copies and bringing them back to the office and scanning them in and putting them in certain files with the pictures in our Dropbox account.
Okay, so there was a couple different reasons. One was you wanted to go something where your information was based in the cloud instead of based in a server in your office. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And then you also wanted something that your technicians in the field could operate in a paperless mode to work from the field and do a lot of different things we're going to talk about. Was that part of the consideration?
Yep, absolutely. And managing pictures and videos and stuff like that.
Okay. And if I'm correct, Service Titan, a lot of people, when you start saying the word Service Titan, they're saying that is just too expensive a system. It just costs too much. What would be your answer to that?
Compared to what? Because it basically saved us probably a person and a half in the office, where we're able to grow now without growing our office staff because so many things are automated.
Okay, so your software enables you to operate your business with approximately 1.5 less people in the office. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's really neat. So one of the things is you want to be having a software to do that can check your KPIs with your key performance indicators. Good afternoon, Julie Dent. Julie is also a company that's also using Service Titan. So she's saying there, love Service Titan. So what's some of these KPIs that you check by having Service Titan on as a tool?
I have KPIs for the office, and I also have KPIs for the guys out in the field. One of the KPIs I use out in the field are closing percentages. I also use average ticket, and I use per opportunity average.
Okay, so those are some of your key KPIs that you're looking for. Now, another thing is you use it for your customer communication. There's a lot of different things that you do through Service Titan in customer communication. What are some of these things, Lee?
When you schedule an appointment, like when someone calls in, it automatically sends them a confirmation notice through text and email. It sends them a 24-hour notice where they can actually text back confirm, and it automatically confirms it in your system. When our guys are on their way, there's a dispatch notification that has a picture of the technician and a short bio. And we actually have now shot bio videos where the customer can click on it and listen to the technician introduce himself. Also, it has a little link at the bottom like Uber where you can click on it and the customer can track you on your way to the job site.
Okay.
We also do follow-ups for online reviews and all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Now, also, one of the things you use it for is for your SOP storage and SOP enforcement. Tell me a little bit about SOP enforcement, Lee.
I can make sure that we have forms, and I can require certain forms on certain jobs, and I can make it where they can't finish their job without filling out that form. I can also make it so when they finish filling out that form, it sends me a text message, or whoever needs it. Like, we have a part order form. So every time they need to order a part, they fill that out, and it sends a text message and an email to the person who orders parts and to me. We also have, like, every time one of our guys makes a sale, it sends a text message to every technician. So it's sort of a competitive environment. But we can make sure that our people follow our SOPs. Even in real time, you can see as your employees upload pictures into the system, it stores those underneath the customer's name, and you can see it in real time. And I've been able to call technicians while they're at a job site and say, hey, you're missing this, you're doing that, and actually try to correct them halfway through. Or when they call to ask me for help, I can see all their pictures, all their videos in real time.
Okay. And one of the things you shared with me is that ServiceTitan, your software, actually makes the job of your tech an easier one. Well, on the surface, when I look at that, I'm thinking, well, God, they got to do so much more because they're doing this stuff with a tablet now. So how does it make their job easier in the field?
Just communication as far as uploading pictures, having those pictures organized. We shoot video at the job site that uploads straight to the system. They don't have to upload to any Dropbox accounts or deal with anything else. There's a presentation mode and a visual price book. So not only do they see prices in your price book, but they see videos and instruction manuals and brochures and videos. I mean, you can put a link to a supplier website where they can watch videos or show videos to customers. It's got, and I'm just about halfway through all the stuff it does to help our technicians.
Okay. So also, you shared with me that ServiceTitan, your software, also does email with your customers, both email marketing and follow-up emails after a sales proposal's been given. How does all that work, Lee?
ServiceTitan has its own email marketing system, and now I can even send postcards to the same system. But you can set it where any unclosed estimate gets a email follow-up at so many days, and you can change each email. You can also now substitute one of those emails with a postcard. So if you want to send them an actual postcard with pictures or anything else on it, you can do that as well. We use that for follow-up. And also we have it actually send out a review request for Google reviews and Facebook as soon as we finish every job. So it's just an automated system.
So you're using this also to collect reviews. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir.
Is it effective as a review collecting mechanism?
It really is. And part of it is you send it directly as soon as your guy clicks done, it goes out immediately. A lot of times it actually shows up in the customer's cell phone as a text message while my technician's still in the house.
Yeah.
So it's very, very effective for us.
Okay, Ron Clark, who's at the Chimney Chap up in Massachusetts, put in, he said, hi, Jerry, the Chimney Chap will be moving from Smart Service to ServiceTitan. So is that a good move for them, Lee?
I mean, I don't know where they're at. I would always say if you have enough technicians, ServiceTitan's a really good deal. If you're a one-man band with just one truck, it may be too much. But if you have enough technicians to really leverage the software, it is a really good idea. It's also make sure you use all the software you can, because I've seen a lot of people use 10% of the software and they're paying for 100% of it.
Okay. And one of your systems is you use a lot of tracking numbers. So your phone system is actually tied into ServiceTitan?
Yes. Every call that comes in or goes out is on a recorded line. So like our technicians, before they show up, can actually listen to the phone call of the customer booking that call to hear who called in, what they asked for. But you can get unlimited tracking numbers. So, and every tracking number is connected to a marketing source. So when they call in, it automatically categorizes that marketing source based on the number they're calling in on. Plus, everything's recorded. So you can go back. Our people in the office often will go back. If the number's somehow wrong, they'll go back and listen to the phone number. Or if there's a customer that has a strong accent, you can go back and re-listen to calls, which is very, very valuable.
So if a customer has a different story or says something different than what you're saying, you can go back and review that customer phone call and see what was actually went on. You can also gauge the performance of your CSRs and dispatchers. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's a great coaching thing.
Okay. So, and this also, one of the notes you gave me is that this gives you real-time knowledge of what's going on in the field. What do you mean by real-time knowledge? What are you able to see since you have this software?
I can see when our technician dispatches to go to the appointment. I can see how long the drive time is. I can see where he is. If a customer calls in, we don't have to call the technician. We can automatically click into the link and see where our technician is. So we can tell the customer how far away he is. I can see when he arrives. I can see how long he's been at the job site. I can see when he's uploading pictures, because I know for our SOP when you should be uploading pictures, when your measurement should show up. And I can tell literally by when they put those in, if they're following our SOPs or not.
Okay. So in 2020, we faced something which was the COVID-19, which resulted in you, like many other business owners, in that your office staff started working from home. Now, does your office staff still work from home, or have they come back to the office, Lee?
No, they're still at home.
Are you planning on bringing them back to the office, or will you remain with home-based office staff from this point forward?
We're actually better off with the home-based office staff. They're happier and they're performing better at home.
Okay, so this is working very good. If someone's going to Service Titan, they could actually have a CSR anywhere in the country could work for you. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. For me, if I have my laptop and my cell phone, I have my office.
Okay, so everything's right there. No matter where you're at, you can keep going. So being able to work from home, definitely an advantage here, especially in today's world. Okay, so what kind of reports can you set up where reports are automatically emailed to you out of the system every day, every week, every month, whatever you're looking for? Is that something you set up?
Yep, that's unlimited. If you have a sales report, or you can even do custom reports where you go and pick what you want to see, and it will email those reports to technicians, you, on a regular schedule without you touching it. So it's all automated, and any reports you want are always they show up in your email right when you need them.
Yeah. You've also told me that you're looking at implementing gamification, which is it's a new way of getting interest built and to build support in different ways in the company. So where do you see you will use gamification through Service Titan in your business?
We use it because of the stats. I love numbers, but I am not going to sit there with a spreadsheet and plug in numbers. Service Titan just provides that to you so that every day we have updated leaderboards as far as who made the most sales, completed jobs, completed revenue, and we have different rewards for each thing. But because Service Titan sort of aggregates or comes up with all those numbers just automatically, we're able to post those publicly very, very easily. And then our guys who are incredibly competitive will sit there and talk trash basically on what they're going to do that day. I'm going to catch you, that kind of thing.
Okay. So now with this, does Service Titan eliminate an accounting system, or do you still need QuickBooks or an accounting system in order to operate your business?
You still need QuickBooks. It helped us tremendously because one of the things that used to be a time-intensive task was going through and putting together different batches like credit card numbers. And you would see a number show up in your bank statement, and you would have to figure out which credit card transactions equaled that amount to make sure all the accounting stuff matched. Well, Service Titan will do that for you automatically if you run your credit cards through the Service Titan system. So there's no more searching for individual transactions. It will auto batch everything, so everything matches exactly. So you can just batch it over, and it will automatically match your bank statement.
Okay. And one of the things you talked about, and I know this, that Lee Roff is a numbers guy, and you're wanting to look at the ROI and what it costs you per lead and all kinds of things. So does this Service Titan help you evaluate your marketing sources?
Yes, that goes into tracking numbers. So I know how many calls comes in from every marketing source, how many of those were leads, how many of those were closed, and what the average ticket and closing percentage. You can do that per marketing source, and you can do it from this week, next month. You can do it custom date ranges. So you can compare this time this year to this time last year to see if your call volume's gone up or down.
Okay. So, and now credit cards, checks taken in the field, how are they processed once you have Service Titan?
The way Service Titan is designed to work is they're entered out in the field with the tablet, and it automatically runs. So there's no bringing it back, entering in credit card numbers. We used to have the little pad that you had to enter, printing it up, stapling it. Now everything runs, even checks. We just take pictures of them front and back, and they automatically deposit. So it saves us a ton of time between the office and the field.
Okay. So you don't have to go to the bank to deposit checks. It's done right from the field. What do you do with the check after the customer's given it to you like that?
We save it for a certain period of time just in case. We don't want anything to happen if for somehow, because a lot of times Service Titan is meant to work without internet. And that's one of the beautiful things about it. If you're at a house and there's no internet, your guy can just go through the whole job, take the pictures, upload, and it will wait until you get to an internet source and then upload everything. So the guy at the only things you can't do is like financing and stuff like that. But it's nice because you take pictures and it just goes to the bank. There's no more. The only thing that you can't do is cash. And I have it set now that every time one of my guys takes cash, I automatically get a text message and an email notifying me that one of my technicians took cash.
Okay. So from this point, what about finances? Is it also done through Service Titan? Does it handle the financing agreements when you go through a finance company for payment of stuff? Is that through Service Titan, or you got to work with the finance company individually?
They have two different financing companies that work with Service Titan. And all it has to do during a presentation, if you click on the financing button, I think there's 3 questions, maybe 4 questions they answer because everything's auto-filled for them. And then within like 15 seconds, you get a yes or no for financing. So it makes it incredibly easy.
Okay. And then one of the things also is in sales processes, we need to follow up with customers a lot of times. Can Service Titan monitor and run your follow-up system?
It automatically has, we talked about it earlier, it has some of the email follow-up systems, but it also has, every technician has a tablet that has a follow-up screen on it. And every day it will have a big red number with like 7, 8, 10. And it lets them know what jobs they need to follow up on that day. And every time they finish a job, it asks them when's a good time, if there's an estimate on it, when's a good time to follow up, and they can schedule estimates. They can also, even on their own time, they can go into that follow-up tab, see all the jobs they're supposed to follow up, make a recorded call to a customer, log an email, and reset the follow-up dates on their tablet. So literally they have a mobile office that reminds them when to follow up on these estimates.
Okay. And also in your business, y'all take a lot of photographs at each job site. Would that be a true statement?
Yes, tons.
And Service Titan can handle any volume of photographs as far as being able to upload them and put them into the customer's files?
We've done huge videos. We've done, hundreds of pictures, and they automatically upload and they're automatically categorized under that job.
Okay. So if someone were to ask you, first question is, Lee, is it worth the money? What would be your answer?
Number one is it depends on your company and how you run. But especially if you have more trucks, more people in the office, the amount of time it saves you for just office staff. And then if you look at what the customer sees as being a lot more value with dispatch notifications and reminders, follow-ups, it easily saves and it becomes a really good investment. And the amount of money it saves or the amount of increased productivity out of your technicians in the field.
Okay. And do you know, if you didn't have this software, could your people be effectively working from home today?
Absolutely not. We even trained a CSR remotely. They were who's never been to our office but once or twice. And we trained them from home to be a CSR from scratch.
So how often do you see your CSRs, Lee?
I see them on Zoom meetings at least 2 or 3 times a week. We talk every day, lots of times. But most of our CSRs haven't been to our office in probably 3 or 4 months.
Really? So, at your office, there's the office is a location that really you don't really need it to operate any longer. Is that what you're telling me?
Except for the warehouse and morning meetings and stuff like that. But there is nobody answering the phones or doing accounting work at the office at all.
Okay. Well, brother, is there anything else you would add in our conversation that people should look at if they're considering software? What would you tell people? Because one of the things I always say is you need to decide what you want this software to do for you. But what I found out is a lot of people really don't know what they want the software to do till they start putting it together. And then they find the shortcomings later, like you did with Service CEO. Would that be correct?
That's absolutely correct.
So, if I asked you today, if you were setting up this software today for your business, from initial pulling the trigger through implementation and putting it to work, how long do you think that would take you today?
Today, I think I could do it in maybe 6 weeks. When I first started, I was out in the field myself and trying to be out in the field and then come back and work on weekends and nights. It took me about 6 months.
Okay. And Julie did just ask the question, Lee, do you do your purchase orders through Service Titan?
We've just started to do some of our, we're starting to go through the learning process for that. We did it initially and then we backed up. Now we do it through a form. But I think that is the future. We just haven't figured that out yet.
Okay. So you're still working. So you've got more things you're going to implement with this software. Would that be correct?
Sure. I think we're probably using 65-70% of the software.
Okay. Well, brother, I appreciate you joining us today. Appreciate you sharing this information. I think it's going to help a lot of people out making their decisions. And Lee, if somebody had any questions, are you available to answer any questions for them on this?
Yeah. If you have questions, lee@lordschimney.com. Shoot me a text or an email. You can see me on Facebook. Just give me a ring. I'll be happy to help.
Right. And Julie Dent just popped up because they also use Service Titan. So Julie Dent, she's Julie at ChesapeakeChimney.com. Steve Sobsack just said, thanks, guys, because he's need to look. I think Steve's looking at different software also. So what would be your recommendation to Steve? Is it worth the time? Is it worth the investment, Lee?
Yes. It's like giving birth to a baby. It's painful, but it's worth it.
It will be. It will work out in the long run. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, we appreciate you joining us. Tune us in next week for another edition of the CVC Success Group Tips and Tactics for Business Success. And with that, we'll talk to you later.